Hello, everybody. This is another recording of Dear Martin by Nick Stone, and this is chapter 17. The first thing Just notices when he pulls into the visitor lot of the Fulton Regional Youth Detention Center is how much the building reminds him of a high school. It makes his stomach twist a little, holding kids deemed menaces to society in a place that would be completely normal if not for the 12-foot barbed wire topped fences. Seems like someone's bad idea of a joke. Like, oh, look at this nice A school. Ha, gotcha, lockdown, fool. After Justice puts the car in park, he takes a minute to look around. Let it sink in that he's really here, that he's about to go inside a juvie and sit down with the guy who killed Castillo, the cop who profiled Just and started him on this failure of a social experiment trying to be like Martin. He almost can't believe it. Once Just started at Brass Prep, Juan and those other guys became nothing more than reminders of the life they just wanted to escape. Quan never made fun of Just the way the rest of them did, but still, hearing that Quan wanted to see him was a little suspect. But then he couldn't stop thinking about it. Suspicion finally gave way to curiosity, and here he is. The minute he steps inside the facility, the guard by the door gives him a once over before pointing toward an area marked visitors. Just is smacked with a sweat inducing wave of discomfort. He leaves his ID and keys with the lady at check in, and the second guard lifts his chin as Just approaches the metal detector. Dang, boy, he says, taking in Justice's button down pressed khakis and loafers. You cleaner than some of the lawyers that come in here. Thanks. Who you here to see? Quan Banks? The guard nods. Go on through, he says. Show those boys what they could be like if they got their stuff together. You hear me? She'll walk you down. He gestures to the check-in lady, now waiting for Justice to step into the long hallway. Just follows her past a bunch of white-walled rooms, classrooms, they look like, until they reach a large steel door with a tall rectangular window that Just suspects is bulletproof. The room has maybe 6 or 7 young guys in orange jumpsuits inside with their visitors. As the lady punches a code into the keypad on the door, Just spots Quan waiting for him. The door opens. Voices spill out into the hallway. Quan lifts his head. He and Just meet eyes. A smile spread into Quan's cheeks, and as it overtakes his entire face, Just remembers the last time he saw it. The summer before 5th grade when Quan beat Just at Monopoly for the first time. Seeing Quan smile like that makes Just even more nervous about being here. Brainiac, Quan says, standing to greet Just. So glad you made it, homie. Yeah, Just peeks over his shoulder at the now shut exit door. It's been a while. Have a seat, my nigga. Have a seat. Quan sits back down and Just follows suit. Seeing the other kids in the jumpsuits talking to their visitors makes Just anxious to leave, especially since the majority of the guys in the room look like him. It's depressing. So how you been, Justice? Quan asks. Just scratches his head. Truthfully, I've seen better days, man. Real effed up about Manny. Yeah, it is effed up. Seeing the words is like a weight lifted. 1 minute we riding along, and the next, Just sighs and shakes his head. What about you, homie? You recovering all right and everything? Well, my arm is working again, if that's what you mean. Yo, when I saw that cop's face on the news, Juan stops talking. Nah, never mind. What about him, man? Juan looks Just in the eye. Then he leans closer, beckoning Just to follow suit. You know that cop they say I popped? How could Justice forget? Yeah, I do, actually. That a-hole who opened fire on you and Manny, he was dude's partner. Just almost falls off the chair. Castillo? He says. Tomas Castillo was Garrett Tyson's partner? Yup. How do you know that? Tyson was there the night you shot Castillo? Allegedly. Just sits back in his chair to let it all sink in. You good, dog? Quan says. Huh? You looking a little shook over there. Should just tell him? Nothing to lose, right? Just takes a quick peek around and leans forward. Can I tell you something crazy? I'm listening. Well, like a week before Castillo died, dude arrested my A. My girl was drunk and I was trying to get her home, but he thought I was carjacking her, put me in cuffs, and wouldn't let me say a word. So that mother got his just desserts. Quan cracks his knuckles. Justice takes in Quan's tough guy expression in orange jumpsuit as the power of his words and seeming lack of remorse settles into Justice's bones. Just leans forward again. Tell me why you did it, dog. Quan's features harden. Why I did what? Quan, I know you confess. You don't have to act innocent with me. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Quan crosses his arms. All right, then. Different approach. Okay. New question. Why would someone do what you're accused of doing? Quan shrugs. If that's what someone's told to do, they do it. Who would tell someone to do that, though? Quan turns away, and Just can see he's about to lose him again. But Just really needs to know because now there's a new question on the table. Who's to say Garrett Tyson's quickness to pull the trigger wasn't caused by seeing his partner killed by a black kid? It's no excuse, of course, but Just knows the effects of trauma are real. He watched his dad lash out at his mom for years. Wait, forget that. Who would tell question? I just really need to understand, Quan. I got shot. Manny's dead because Garrett Tyson thought I had a gun. Now you're telling me he was there when when his partner got shot? Quan's eyes narrow. What you trying to say, man? I'm not trying to say anything, Quan. Just put yourself in my shoes. All of this stuff is foreign to me. For a minute, nobody says anything, and Just is sure his coming here was a mistake. But then Quan starts talking. I, listen up. Where I come from, resistance is existence, homie. Every day, I woke up in my hood, could have been my last. You want to survive? Get with some niggas who won't turn on you, and y'all do whatever it takes to stay at the top. You feel me? My dudes, they're like family to me. They've got my back as long as I have theirs. Somebody tells you to make a move, you make a move. No questions asked. Just shakes his head. Not buying it, dog. Don't forget I grew up right around the corner from you. Last I checked, your way got you capped and Manny killed, Quan says. Just can't really respond to that. I know you all about getting ahead and everything. I know you all about getting ahead and everything, Justice, but you gotta face reality at some point. These white people don't got no respect for us, dawg, especially the cops. All they protect and serve is their own interests. You just gonna continue to bend your knee after they prove that stuff by killing your best friend? Again, Just has nothing to say. Can't even say I was surprised when I heard, man. Quan continues. You and Manny were good dudes, and y'all still got a raw A deal. That's why I want to see you. That's why I wanted to see you. Talk. I got a counselor here, but I can't tell that white lady none of this stuff. She won't get it. Just nods. You know what, Quan? I feel you. And he really does. It's effed up. There's no escaping the BMC, Quan says. The BMC? Yeah, black man's curse. World's got diarrhea, and dudes like us are the toilet. Guess that's one way to put it. Let me tell you what I learned. My second time in juvie, I was 14. There was this 17-year-old rich white boy there, Sean. Dude had got up in the middle of the night and stabbed his dad like 8 times. Damn. Right. They tried to get him on attempted murder charge, but homeboy's lawyer got some doctor to come in and say dude was sleepwalking, and that stuff worked. Judge dropped the charges down to a simple assault. Guy got 60 days at a youth development campus, then got to go home. You serious? Yep. Meanwhile, they locked my A up for a year on a petty theft charge because it was my second offense. Prosecutor actually referred to me as a career criminal at the hearing. Juan shakes his head. I think that was probably the moment I gave up. Why try to do right if people will always look at me and assume wrong? Justice can't respond to that. He knows Quan committed actual crimes, whereas his only error was reaching to turn the music down. But Just had to admit he's thought the same thing. What is the point of trying to do right? So what do I do then, man? He asked, surprised or surprising even himself with the question. What's the alternative? He swallows. The next thought, winding up in jail doesn't seem like the way to go. Quan shrugs. Well, as a wise man once told me, the solution is twofold. First, you gotta use the power you already got, man. People fear dudes like us. When they fear you, they don't F with you. Feel me? Just doesn't feel Quan, but he nods anyway. Second, you need to get you a crew to roll with. There's strength in numbers. Matter of fact, you should give Martell a call. Quan goes on. He's like a big brother to a lot of us, taught us everything we know. This makes Justice's heart race. He knows exactly who Martell is and what he's about. Hello, Black Jihad? The last thing he wants is to get involved with some gang leader. Nah, man, it's cool. I've learned plenty from you. He peeks over his shoulder at the exit again. Quan grins. I'm gonna give you Trey's number. He'll put you in touch with Martell. You really don't have to do that, Quan, I promise you. I'm alright. It's hard out there by yourself, man. Martell gets it. Quan looks Just right in the eyes, and a stone drops into Just's gut. You'll be welcomed if you want in, he says. For real, dog, I'm good. Besides, I don't have anything to write with. I'm sure you'll remember the number until you get back to your phone. You ready? As soon as Quan recites the last digit, a guard Just failed to notice says, Time's up. The whole way back to his car, some of Quan's words run laps in Just's head. Resistance is existence. These white people don't got no respect for us. There's no escaping the black man's curse. It's exactly the kind of thinking Just tried to combat with the letters to Martin. But asking what would Martin do didn't help, did it? That's why he stopped writing them. There's one thing Quan said that Just can't dispute. Doing things Just's way got him and his best friend shot. Yeah, Quan's in jail, but at least he's alive. That's more than can be said for Manny. Before sticking the key into the ignition, Just grabs his cell phone from the center console. Before he can change his mind, he punches in Trey's number. All right, that's the end of chapter 17. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, you go ahead and click that subscribe button for me.